ecstasy of the Lord and descriptions of Sridhara and other devotees' characteristics. So we will not read the introduction fully because anyway the chapter will cover the important prasanga in this 21-hour ecstasy. It is also called the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Mahaprakash Leela. So here this chapter describes Gaurachandra's Sataprahariya Mahaprakasha or 21-hour divine manifestation. So each prahar is of 3 hours, and that is why 7 hours becomes 21. So 7 prahars of such kind of 3 hours each becomes the 21-hour. Lord is sitting on the throne of Lord Vishnu. The performance of his Abhisheka is done by his devotees, and the offering of prayers and worship of Mahaprabhu with 16 ingredients according to the Vedic scriptures prescribed with the 10-syllable Gopala mantra, and the Lord is eating foodstuffs offered by devotees. Then Mahaprabhu's narration of the previous histories of devotees headed by Srivasa, the devotees' performance of evening arati and topic of the topmost devotee Sridhara, and the glories of Vaishnava's characteristics. So let's go into this Mahaprakash Leela. It is one very ecstatic Leela where Lord glorifies each and every devotee of his and grants them spiritual blessings. Text 1. Gauranidhi kapata sannyasi veshadhari Akhila Bhuvanadika Gauranidhi kapata sannyasi veshadhari Akhila Bhuvanadikari. So Lord, here the glories to all glories to Gaurachandra, the Lord of the entire universe, who disguised himself by wearing the dress of a sannyasi. So not many people knew that he is the Supreme Lord who controls the 14 worlds. The entire universe is created by him. And in order to teach the people of this world, he has given up all kinds of worldly enjoyment and displayed the qualification of a human being by accepting the dress of a renunciate. So the very purpose of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu coming into this world as a sannyasi or a mendicant, ultimately he accepted the sannyasi ashram, is to give everyone the love of Godhead, to Jare Deke Tare Kahu Krishna Upadesh. And he wanted that every village and city of this world is filled with holy name. Today we see that his Senapati Bhaktas have done that, across the world we are seeing every village, every town, every city. Now we have holy names being spread and ISKCON centers being spread. Jaya Jagannatha Sachinandana Chaitanya Jaya Gaura Sundara Sankirtana Dhanya. All glories to Sri Chaitanya, the son of Jagannath and Sachi. All glories to Gaura Sundara, who inaugurated the glorious Sankirtana movement. And he, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in Kali Kale Nama Rupe Krishna Avatar. In the Kali Kal, the only yajna one can do is one can purify oneself and go back to Godhead is by the Nama Japa. And this Sankirtan movement was given by none other than Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Like in Satyuga, we know that people used to live for very long years, 100,000 years, and they could do meditation. In Treta Yuga, they could do yajna with various pure ingredients available, and people used to live there in those years for 10,000 years. In Dwapar Yuga, the number of years people could live came down to 1,000 years. In Dwapar Yuga, Archa Vigraha worship or temple worship was there, and that was the way people could go back to Godhead by doing Archa Vigraha Seva. In Kali Kal, it is the holy name or Sankirtana Yajna. That is the way to go back to Godhead or get liberated from the material situation and go back to the spiritual or our original constitution position. So Kali Kale Krishna Roop. So in the Kali Kal, Krishna took the roop of Nama. So the holy name and Krishna is non-different. Lord's name are multifarious. Nam Namakari Bhauda, we have that in the second verse of Shikshashtakam. Nam Namakari Bhauda Nijasam. In every word, in every letter of the holy name and every name of the primary name of Krishna, Krishna has put his full potency. Nija Shakti. He has given his Nija Shakti in every holy name. Jaya Nityananda Gadadera Jivana Jaya Jaya Advaita Srivasa Pranadhana. All glories to the Lord, who is the life of Nityananda and Gadadhara, and all glories to the life and wealth of Advaita and Srivasa. Advaita Acharya, looking at the situation in Navadvipa, how even Brahmanas and educated people were not taking up to devotion and were getting patha He did hunkara. He prayed to his Shaligram Shila and requested Lord to come to this world. And on his request, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appears in Navadvipa. Jaya Shri Jagadananda Haridasa Prana Jaya Vakreshwara Pundarika Premadhama. All glories to the life of Jagadananda and Haridasa. All glories to the Lord, who is the abode of Vakreshwaras and Pundarika's love. Shri Gaur Sundara is the shelter of Vakreshwara and Shri Pundarika, Vidyanidhi's love. And they both took shelter of Gaurahari, who is the supreme shelter. So the Lord is the supreme shelter, and those who take his shelter remain abhaya. They are given both abhaya and fearlessness. At the same time, they also get their knowledge and vairagya. That is, they are able to renunciate the material affairs. Jaya Vasudeva Shri Garbhera Prananatha Jiva Pratikara Prabhu Shobha Drishtipata. All glories to the Lord, dear Lord of Vasudeva and Sri Garbha. O Lord, please glance mercifully on the living entities. While the Lord's glance is required in everything from the time of creation, while there is Mahatvatva Pradhana, but every time or every instance, nothing moves in this world without the Supreme Personality of Godhead's glance. And when Mahavishnu glances, then the material things, the 24 elements are agitated, and then life is also getting active in the three modes. Bhakta Goshti Sahita Gauranga Jaya Jaya Sunile Chaitanya Katha Bhakti Labhyahaya. All glories to Gauranga along with his devotees. By hearing topics about Lord Chaitanya, one obtains devotional service. So it is said that early morning when we do Shravan for Chaitanya Bhagavat, take the blessings of Lord Chaitanya Nityananda, we are completely protected and we are put on the path of devotional service. Without the mercy of Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda, we cannot get Radha Krishna Prem. So the only way is to have association of devotees and in the Sangha of our Siksha Guru and our mentors, that one has to listen to the Katha and take blessings of Lord Chaitanya Nityananda and do our sadhana. Madhya Kanda Katha Bhai Suna Eka Chite Mahaprabhu Gaura Chandra Vihare Ye Mate. Oh brothers, please hear attentively the topics of the Madhya Kanda regarding how Gaura Chandra Mahaprabhu enjoyed his pastimes. Ebe Sune Chaitanyera Mahaprakasha Yani Sarva Vaishnavera Siddhya Bilasha. Now hear about Lord Chaitanya's Mahaprakasha or great revelation, during which all the Vaishnavas obtained fulfillment of their desires. And by hearing to the description of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Mahaprakasha, the desires of all the Vaishnavas are fulfilled. Sata prahariya bhava loke khyati yara yani prabhu hailena sarvavatara. This pastime is known as Sataprahariya Bhava or the 21-hour ecstasy. During this period, the Lord manifested his various incarnations. A prahara consists of 7.5 dandas or 3 hours. Therefore, 7 prahars is equal to 21 hours. Gaurahari manifested the pastimes of all Vishnu incarnations for 21 hours. During this period, he manifested his wonderful pastimes and satisfied the devotees by eating their offerings and awarding them devotional service to Lord Hari. So for anyone, the biggest benediction, the biggest, you can say the blessing is when we go to great Vaishnavas, they will say Krishnair Mati Rastu. That is, we always be in the Mati of Krishna or always have smaran of Krishna. So that is the biggest blessing, or to get devotional service of Lord eternally. That is the biggest blessing one can get, because everything else is temporary and is like in a dream state. So whatever we are there within any relationship in this material world, we are put into that relationship by the Supreme Lord based on our previous janmas, desires, and karma equations. Adbhuta bhojana yahi adbhuta prakasha yare tare Vishnu bhakti danera vilasa. During this pastime, the Lord ate wonderfully, manifested wonderful forms, and awarded the devotional service of Vishnu to one and all. Raja Rajeshwara Abhisheka Seidine Kari Lena Prabhure Sakala Bhakta Gane. On that day, the devotees gave the Lord Abhisheka as the king of all kings. So भक्तों ने क्या किया उस दिन महाप्रकाश लीला के दिन उन्होंने भगवान चैतन्य महाप्रभु को आसन पे बिठा के उनको अभिषेक भी दिया. एका दिन महाप्रभु श्री गौर सुंदर आई लेना श्रीनिवास पंडितेरा घर. One day Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to the house of Srivasa Pandita. So Srivasa and Srinivasa are used synonymously here. So it refers to Srivasa Pandit only. Sange Nityananda Chandra Parama Vihvala Alpe Alpe Bhaktagana Milita Sakala. He was accompanied by the most restless Nityananda Chandra. Gradually, all the devotees gathered there. So like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his close associate, or we can say brother, Balaram, who came as Nityananda Prabhu's glories are unlimited. It is said that no one can count the molecules present in the atmosphere. One can count the atoms, or one can count the molecules when sun rays passes through the window. You can see the molecules. Even that can be counted, but the Lord's glories cannot be counted. Similarly, Nityananda Prabhu, who is the close associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and is none other than Sankarshan himself, he used to go door to door and tell them, please chant the holy name of Hari, please chant Hari Bol, or please chant Hare Krishna. And this is what he used to do in the various places Nityananda Prabhu went. Avasita Chitta Mahaprabhu Gaura Raya Parama Aishwarya Kari Chaturdige Chaya. The heart of Gaurang Mahaprabhu was absorbed in ecstasy, manifesting his supreme opulences, and he looked in the four directions. Chaturdige Chaya. Prabhura Ingita Bhuji Lena Bhakta Gana Uchaishwarya Chaturdige Karena Kirtana. Understanding what is the feeling of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the heart of Lord, the devotees began Kirtana from all sides, and they began to sing loudly in Kirtana. Anya Anya Dina Prabhu Nache Dasya Bhave Shaneka Aishwarya Prakashiya Puna Bhange. On the other days, the Lord would dance in the mood of a servant and would only momentarily manifest his opulences before withdrawing them. So some days earlier also during Kirtana, he has manifested some of his opulences, but he would withdraw them very quickly. Sakala bhaktera bhage edina nachite utiya vashila prabhu Vishnura katate arasa badine prabhu bhava prakashiya Vaishnave Vishnu rakhate yena na janiya Sata prahariya bhave shadi sarva maya vashile prahara sata prabhu vyaktahaya. So while dancing on this day, however, the Lord made all the devotees fortunate by going up and sitting on the throne of Lord Vishnu. On other days, when the Lord had manifested his ecstasy and sat on the throne of Vishnu, he had acted like he was unaware of his actions. But during the Sataprahariya Bhava, the Lord gave up all pretension and revealed his glories for 21 hours. So in other day there was not this kind of action, but today the Lord revealed about his opulences and glories. The phrase Vishnura Khata refers to the Supreme Lord's Simhasana or the throne. So where Lord Vishnu is placed in the altar, there Mahaprabhu went and sat. On other days, Mahaprabhu acted as if he was unaware as he sat on the throne of Vishnu in his own ecstasy. But on this day, he concealed his mood and pastime as a devotee and he sat on the throne of Vishnu for 21 hours in the mode of Supreme Lord. So in other days, he used to behave as if he in the Dasya Bhava or as a devotee, and he used to behave in that way. Whereas today he did show his mode of the Supreme Lord. This day he did not hide himself in any way, but fully revealed himself. In other words, he accepted the service of his devotees by fully revealing himself as Lord Vishnu, the object of all worship. So today was an important day, the day where the devotees were so fortunate to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu revealing himself as the Supreme Lord, जिनका कोई आदि है न अंत है, and the Lord who is unborn and who has been glorified by Ananta Shesha and many devotees, including Brahma, Ishvara, Paramakrishna, Sachidananda Vigraha, Nadir, Adir, Govinda, Sarvakarana Kadam, the one who is the cause of everything which is happening. That Lord, the devotees had the darshan, pratyaksha darshan in his full opulence. योदाहस्ते सम्मुखे सकल भक्त गाना राहिलेना परमा आनंदयुक्त mana. All the devotees felt great ecstasy as they stood before the Lord with folded hands. Ki adbhut santoshera haila prakasha sabai vasena yena vaikunta vilasa. How wonderful were their feelings of satisfaction. Everyone felt like they were enjoying in Vaikunta. Prabhu Vasilayena Vaikuntera Natha Tilar Dekha Maya Matra Nahika Kotatha. The Lord also sat like the Lord of Vaikunta, not even a tinge of illusion was present there. Ajna Haila Bala Mora Abhisheka Gita Suni Gaya Bhakta Gana Hai Harashita. And the Lord ordered, recite the prayers for my Abhisheka. On hearing this, the devotees happily recited the prayers for Abhisheka. Abhisheka Gita refers to the prayers which are recited during an Abhisheka ceremony. And when a king of kings is installed on the throne, his subjects glorify him with various offerings of prayers and homage. अभिषेक सुनी प्रभु मस्तक धुलाया शाबरे करेना कृपा दृष्टि माया. On hearing the Abhisheka prayers, the Lord rolled his head and without duplicity glanced mercifully on everyone. The phrase Abhisheka Suni, hearing the recitation of Abhisheka prayers, the Lord started to look at everybody with his Kripa Drishti. प्रभुरा इंगीता बुझी लेना भक्त गण अभिषेक करीते शाबारा हाइला mana. And the devotees understood what was going on in the Lord's heart and what was Lord indicating, and they decided to perform the Abhishek ceremony. Sarva bhakta gane bahi ane ganga jala aage chal chaki lena divya vasane sakala. All the devotees brought Ganga Jal and strained it with fine cloth. Sheshe Shri Karpura Chatushama Adi Diya Saja Karilena Sabe Prema Yukta Haya. Thereafter, they joyfully prepared for the Abhishek by mixing camphor, 4 other ingredients in the water. Hari Bhakti Vilas quotes the Garuda Purana as follows. Chatushama consists of 2 portions of musk, 4 portions of sandalwood, and 3 portions of kunkuma, and 1 portion of camphor. So this were used as the paste before doing the Abhishek of the Lord. Mahajaya Jaya Dhvani Suni Chari Bhite Abhisheka Mantra Sabe Lagila Padite. The tumultuous sound of Jaya Jaya was being heard in all four directions, and everyone began to recite the Abhisheka mantra. Sarvadye Shri Nityananda Jaya Jaya Bali Prabhura Sire Sire Prabhura Shri Sire Jaladila Kutuhali. Then Nityananda Prabhu chanted Jaya Jaya and he started pouring the water on the head of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Lord. Advaita Srivasa Adi Yate Ka Pradhana Padiya Purusha Sukta Kareyena Snana. Then exalted devotees headed by Advaita and Srivasa also bathed the Lord while reciting the Purusha Sukta prayers. So the Purusha Sukta prayers begin like this. Om Sahasra Shirsha Purushaha Sahasraksha Sahasrapad Sabhumim Vishwato Vritvi Atishtada Dashangulam. The Supreme Lord's universal form has 1,000 heads, 1,000 eyes, and 1,000 feet, for he contains all living entities. Having pervaded the universe completely to give it existence and being independent, he extended himself beyond the universe by the Shangulam, by 10 fingers. So, this is the meaning of the verse we read about the Purusha Sukta. So the Supreme Lord, even in the creation process, Srimad Bhagavatam, it is mentioned that when Lord creates everything, the sky is his heart in this Virata Purusha Rupa, the sky is his heart. And everything which is there in this universe is residing in the body of Narayana. Om Purushaye Vedam Sarvam Yadbhutam Yacha Bhavyam Utam Tat Vashesano Yad Ane Anena Tirohati. The universe's past, present, and future are but manifestations of the Supreme Lord's Purusha expansion. Though he is the Lord of immortality, he has manifested himself as a Purusha in the universe so that the Jivas may enjoy material fruits. So the Lord was initially alone. He had no beginning, he has no beginning, and he has no end, in a sense that there is no one prior to Lord, and the Lord is the primemost. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. And from the Lord's pores, from the body pores of Narayana, who's lying in the causal ocean, so many universes are emanating at every moment, that it is like through the rays of the sun, when we see in the morning particles, dust particles are seen by us, like that universes are being formed and coming out of the body of Narayana, and everything is residing in his creation, the creation which he is making. While Karanodakshai Vishnu is lying in the Karna ocean, but for every universe there is Garbhodakshai Vishnu, and he is the Paramatma of every universe. And while Shirodakshai Vishnu is the Paramatma in every Jiva or every living entity. Om Etavanasya Mahima Ato Jayamscha Purusha Pado Asya Vishwabhutani Tripada Shamartam Divi. The past, present, and future universes are manifestation of the Lord's powers, but the Lord himself is much greater. All the living beings of the universe are put 1/4 portion, and the eternal nature in the spiritual sky exists in the 3/4 portion. So the material universe takes only 1/4 of the creation, whereas the 3/4 of the creation is in the spiritual sky, which we cannot even see. What to talk of the spiritual sky? We can't even see the entire material creation, because this material creation, so this is called the Tribada Vibhuti, and the material creation, which is the 14 planetary systems, that itself is very inconceivable by jivas like us. It is said that this whole creation cannot be understood even by living one life of Brahma. So we know one life of Brahma is 100 years, and for Brahma, one day is like 4 cycles of 1,000 Chaturyugas. So it is impossible for us to comprehend If Brahma cannot understand this creation, then we can only bow down in surrender and listen to and what the scriptures say, because it is impossible for us to understand the creation. So, I was going through this Vedic cosmology, but then I was just kind of going through it again for interest sake. And it is said that this entire Bhumandala, the Bhumandala was just one tract of land, the Bhumandala. Bhumandala is one of the planetary systems in the 14 planetary systems. So above Bhumandala, there are other 7 planetary systems like the Suvarloka, Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, and then Brahmaloka. Similarly, below the Bhumandala, there are the 7 Patal Lokas. This Bhumandala land, when Swayambhu Manu, with the help of, when he handed over to Priyavarta, it is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam that Priyavarta had to divide this land, and he applied his intelligence. What Priyavrata did, it is said that even Lord cannot do. So obviously Priyavrata did with Lord's intelligence, or what we call the powers empowered by Lord. But it is said that he divided the tract of land, Bhumandala, into 7 tracts of land. It is a very interesting Vedic cosmology explanation given Srimad Bhagavatam. And he made a chariot, and it was a one-wheeled chariot, and he had pegged it to a pivot point. And he noticed that in the Bhumandala, when one side there is sunlight coming, the other half of the world is not getting sunlight. And when the other half of the world gets sunlight, the other side becomes dark. So he wanted to solve that problem also. So he expanded into 2. So Priyavata was so much empowered that he expanded himself into 2, and he became the sun. When he became the sun, when it was dark on one side, when the sun was on the other side of the Bhumandala, he used to go on the other side and he used to try to pull his chariot. And this way he went in this concentric circle 7 times, and it is said that each tract of land is double the size of the previous tract of land. So with his one-wheeled chariot, he drew this he cut this Bhumandala, and it is beyond our comprehension. We can't even understand. And this Bhumandala, when it is then cut into 7 concentric circles, there are 7 parts of land which he gave to his 7 sons. And then each of these are called Varshas, and each of this tract of land is again separated by 7 different oceans. One is the saltwater ocean, the other is the sweet water ocean, then the sugarcane juice, then one is of ghee, one is of milk, one is of yogurt, and the 7th one is of liquor. So like that, there are oceans which are, each one is double the size of the previous one. And similarly, the tract of land is also double the size. This way he divided the land. So I'm just giving a tip of the iceberg of how the Bhumandala, or the creation, how this Bhumandala. So when we call the Bhumandala, or and then further, one part of land he gave to his Agnidhara, his eldest son. He took the Jambudvipa. Agnidhara took the Jambudvipa, and Agnidhara again had to divide the tract of land into 7 times to give over to his. He also divided further into 7 to give to his sons. So then one of the sons was Nabhi. So Agnidhara gave his portion to Nabhi. That's how we have the Jambudvipa, which is the central portion of the land. And then Nabhi further gave to his 7 sons. So this way it came down to Rishabdev and his wife Meru Devi and their first son Bharat Maharaj. So we all know Bharat Maharaj, and that is how it is called Bharatvarsha. And then Bharatakanda. It was further divided into 9 portions to give to his brothers, because Bharat Maharaj took to devotional service and he went to Gandaki to worship. And we know thereafter he got attached to the deer, and then he became a deer, and then he became Jada Bharat. And so then the name got to Bharatavarsha. So we should not confuse when we say Bhumandala. When Yudhishthir Maharaj ruled, it is the entire Bhumandala. This and not just one portion. So in our Sankalpa mantra also we say, Bharata Varshe, Bharata Kande, Meroho, Dakshine Pade. So below Meru, Sumeru mountain, south side. And this Bharata Varsha and Bharata Kanda are in the lowermost tip on the southern side of the entire Bhumandala. In that Bharata Khanda, that portion is where our earth is situated. So the Bhumandala itself is so big that we cannot imagine, we cannot go to other Varshas. Like Kim Purusha Varsha is there, where it is said that Lord Hanuman is eternally present worshipping Lord Sita Ram Lakshman. So like that, in different Varshas, different devotees are praying their Ishta Devata. So such is the creation that we can only hear and try to imagine, but beyond that, we cannot understand everything fully, that how this entire creation is being run by the Creator. I think we'll stop here. I don't want to run ahead of time. Thank you all for listening patiently. Hare Krishna, Dandat Pranam.
Thank you, Mataji, for so wonderful information about
Thank you,
creation. Thank you so much, Mataji. Dandat Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Close the class here. Huh? Thank you all. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.